see what he can do in the midst of unbelievers, on the leading edge with his word, his power, his grace, and his mercy. For God's sakes, we're Lutheran. This is what we know.
People are asking me, like, what do I think? What do you think about this, LeCrae? Man, it's wild.
A controversial type figure in the music industry recently released a music track that's kind of religious based. Lil Nas X, Old Town Road dude. You know, everybody, a lot of people have opinions. So in the music industry space, there's leaders that people are asking, like, yo, what are your thoughts on these various things? Now, he's been doing antics for a while. So when he first started doing them, he was twerking on the devil, promoting Satan and things of that nature. And one of the biggest leaders, he had this thought about that.
What's going on, y'all? So apparently Lil Nas X has dropped a shoe, partnered with the shoe company and put out Nike Air Max 97s, which are some of my favorite shoes, by the way. And he is calling these the Air Satans, if I'm not mistaken, or Satan shoes. 666 on them. I think there's like a drop of human blood in every shoe. That's creepy. I know it's been a lot of talk about it online, a lot of people giving their 2 cents and talking about their perspectives. I think sometimes we're just asked to get in an uproar over things when the reality is it's the attention that oftentimes people are trying to get us to give to these circumstances and situations. It's the attention, like pay attention. And then we're all paying attention and then we're all talking and we're all arguing, and meanwhile, somebody's winning off of all that attention. So I would just say this: if you don't like it, don't support it. You think it's ridiculous and evil or unnecessary, you don't have to pay it any mind. And oftentimes in my experience, I found that, you know, not giving much attention to things that, in my opinion, you know, ridiculous, they tend to go away.
Don't get me wrong, he has a point. He has a point. A lot of times people do things for attention, you know? So, I mean, that's kind of extreme though, because we kind of depend, not we, but a lot of people look to leaders and significant figures that might not be their pastor. Not saying it should be. Like, they should look outwards, not their pastor or things of that nature. But they look outside to these type of people for guidance or thoughts and this, that nature. So now that we fast forward to now when he is making a Christian song, I wonder would that same energy be shown? You know, like, oh no, let's just wait and see. Like, you know, people just want attention. Maybe. Let's see.
I don't know. Only God knows the motive of Lil Nas X when he gets on here and he says, hey, I'm just reaching out to God. So I don't like it when I see non-Christians being chastised with Christian belief. They don't subscribe to what you subscribe to. So how can you challenge them with that? Like, they don't even subscribe to the same book. They don't play the same game you play. So how are they breaking the rules?
Hold up, let me interrupt, but I do want to say one thing. He has a point, but not in this case. Not to come across like that, but Romans 1, especially coming from someone who grew up in a Christian household, you are without excuse. So to say you don't want to hear people coming at people using the Bible and this and that, what? Like, it just seems like we're making any excuse and not address what's going on. I don't get it. And this is a dangerous precedent to set when you're talking to people who are looking to you for guidance.
That's where we've got to start moving toward. You're not going to befriend anybody. You're not going to make any friends. You're not going to win any people beating them up, writing diss songs about them, and bashing them.
So here's the thing, man. When one is a leader, now I'm saying you want to be a leader, you end up being a leader, you have to be willing to basically give your opinion that's popular or not popular. Like when this guy's twerking on the devil and selling a shoe called like the Satan with blood in it and things of that nature, literally trying to promote demonic stuff. It's, let's not talk about it. He only wants attention. And then, this isn't like 20 years ago, dude's young. It's like a year and a half, 2 years ago. All of a sudden, out the blue, he comes out with, I'm entering my Christian era, which sounds gimmicky. It sounds like I'm just doing this for the bag. I'm doing this just to touch new audiences and this, that nature. It's honestly, in this interview about his thoughts, he had more harsh words for Christians than, I don't want to say harsh words for Lil Nas X, because disclaimer, we do hope it's genuine. We do hope that it's true and this and that. But there's nothing wrong with discernment. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, yo, I'm glad he professed that. Let's see how it moves. Let's get involved in his life. Let's encourage him and this and that. But there's nothing wrong with people saying, hold up, especially when someone wasn't didn't know of God or wasn't aware of God. When it's someone who grew up in a religious setting, like family involved, in Jesus type stuff, and then starts promoting Satanism, and then wants to just, you got to be cautious. Like, you can't just let wolves out, do the sheep like that. You just can't. Especially when, in the midst of saying he's doing this Christian album, he's saying things like this right here. That he could be on his knees for different reasons. I don't want to go into no graphic stuff, but one is praise and worship. One is you know what I'm saying? It's something else. It's like, when you're a leader, you have to be willing to stand on what you stand on and keep it true. Like, another YouTuber that made a comment, a lot of them did, was Ruslan. And I actually respected his take. He came across as loving, caring, but also the aspect of saying, let's show a little discernment here. Like, God will not be mocked. Like, let's be cautious in that sense. There's nothing wrong with that.
And if Lil Nas X is watching this, I would encourage him to consider this Bible passage in Galatians chapter 6, verse 7 and 8. Do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows. Whoever sows to please their flesh, from the flesh will reap destruction. Whoever sows to please the Spirit, from the Spirit will reap eternal life. When I was growing up,
I honestly think it's kind of doing a disservice. And this isn't a bash LeCrae thing. It's just that he is one of the biggest Christian hip-hop artists. A lot of people follow his moves and celebrate. I mean, they literally could celebrate if he took a good poop in the morning. They'll be like, yo, bro, you got that 2-ply? That is awesome, bro. That is awesome. I got Angel Soft too. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you gotta know the influence in your position to where you're not just leading people down a dangerous path. Not saying you say don't go, but you at least give them fair warnings and how to operate and navigate heading into something like that. Like, he literally was just promoting the devil. Like, literally. So, don't get me wrong, in this little interview, it mostly was about LeCrae. You know what I'm saying? And basically going at believers that want to show discernment or questioning, is this genuine?
But he's not asking for Christians to come diss him because of the things he's done in his past. He's asking for what we ought to ask for. It's for God to not define us by what we have done, but offer us grace in a relationship. It's funny because a lot of us become older brothers, like in the prodigal son story. We become the older brother. He's pissed off because he's like, man, I do all this stuff and you're just going to give him this? No. And that's what a lot of us are. We're older brothers. No, Lil Nas X, you don't get to ask God for help. No, you non-believers, you guys, you're out in Vegas snorting lines, you evil pieces of crap. And meanwhile, the Father, if you look,
literally, most of it, like, only a small snippet at the end was like, hey, Lil Nas X, I love to get to know you. I have no promotion for myself about this. I just, want to be there for you, this and that, reach out. Hey, salute that. I think more of the interview should have been about Lil Nas X rather than condemning your fellow brothers that, I mean, some of them were going far, almost like they wish hell on him. I get that. But we have to give them some grace also and say, hey, I get why you feel that way, but let's view it this way. Let's try to encourage him and get him involved in the church, a local assembly, something like that, and work with him, because the way he's typing, because he's tweeting a lot about it, doesn't align with what he's saying. It just doesn't, And I hate when people do this. They try to use the WWJD. What would Jesus do? He rolled with sinners. He this. Yo, fam. No sinner he was rolling with was sitting here bragging about still sucking while right there kicking it with JC. No one was. Come on now. Let's stop that. Let's stop that. And I'm not saying people stop sinning. I'm not saying that. But they weren't boasting proudly in that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a difference. It's a difference. And, I mean, I know there's a lot of red letter Christians out there. But the whole book is inspired. Let's not forget we have the apostles rebuking Simon the magician when they saw that his motives were foul for wanting to be basically in the family. Once they saw that, they were like, oh, hold up, bro. And they rebuked him. I just wonder, is people navigating with that? Is it more so, oh, he's blaspheming Christ, let's ignore it. 2 seconds later, oh, he said he believes in God. And then you promote the person as if you still don't have caution saying, hold on, but bro, I don't know if you're really like a false teacher. I don't know if you're just doing this for promo, power, money, influence, like the magician Simon. Let's stop. There's nothing wrong with having discernment or taking things at one step at a time. You know? And as far as Lil Nas X, yo, bro, I do hope it's genuine. Seriously. And I do hope you maybe do reach out to, well, first of all, your dad's a Christian musician from right here and has been involved in the church. Hopefully you talk to his pastor or somebody, you know, of the cloth, someone who can guide you, talk to you, work with you, and walk with you in this journey. But to just act like, you know, let's be honest, bro, you marketed this to kids. You marketed this stuff to kids, demonic stuff. And the Bible clearly talks about the aspect of if you cause one of these little ones to stumble, yo, man, it's a real passage. Like, you know, and it goes a little deeper later on. So let's always have discernment. Always have discernment, especially when it comes to somebody who purposely went after kids with the message. Especially when it's somebody who's kind of talking dual-sided, where it's, oh, I'm searching for the Father. I'm still glorifying and talking about these sexual acts that I'm doing, not married to a female. You know? We have to be able to show discernment and be wise about what we're guiding people to, especially people in leadership roles. You know, I'm not a leader, but I still, in my community, there's people who take my word for things and look to me for guidance, and I will be honest with them. Even when it's something that, like, yo, it sounds good, but just be careful of this and this. I'm not going to just lead someone into the lion's den, like, oh, hey, the sign says all welcome, go. They wouldn't lie. But they killed 20 people yesterday in that lion's den. They changed. No, bro. Get a flashlight. Peek around the corner. See what's going on. Don't just blindly follow anything. And like I said, I don't want to turn this into a LeCrae's bash thing because, honestly, I just ignore dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, I listen to some of his music, older stuff. Don't really have feelings this or that way. I don't know dude. But when it came to this and me seeing that, yo, you're a leader, literally a leader in the Christian hip-hop sector, which also influences youth Christians in general. We got to be more transparent and more upfront when it's popular or unpopular. You can't say ignore him creating shoes, marketing Satan. Ignore it. He just wants attention. And then give him the attention when he says, I want to do my Christian era. Come on, bro. Come on. Anyhow, Wittenberg Project.